Hey guys, so today we'll be solving the Leetcode daily problem. The Leetcode daily problem is maximum absolute sum of any subarray. Now you are given an array of integers and these integers can be negative or positive. So what you have been told over here is that you need to find out the maximum sum such that of any subarray such that when you take the absolute of it, it is the maximum overall. So let's take for an example over here. The problem says that we are given this one and here you can see that 2, 3 is the maximum over here. You can do some maths over here and just calculate the prefix, like what are the values which we can permutation combination which we can get, and after that you can get some values over it. So the brute force approach, as you always know, that we can create all subarrays and then we can take the absolute value of it and then we can directly store and return it in the function. But that's not it. That will be O of n square. So we need something. Can we do it better than like something in O of n? So before deep diving into the solution, I want to tell you that these kind of problems have a certain pattern associated to it. So even in yesterday problem, if you see, it could have also been solved using a prefix based approach. So apparently what you can say is that any subarray based problem, you can always think that can we apply a prefix based approach or not? Why prefix based approach will work or not? Let's say for some reason I calculate the prefix till point B and I have calculated and I have stored some variable like prefix A. Do not think about it. Just say that I have just stored this state for some reason at this particular ith index or jth index, sorry, and the prefix B stored at ith index. So when you subtract these two prefix based on certain constraint or like some values, what you will get is that you will eventually get a subarray. So this is another way you can solve a subarray question. So you can take this as a hint. You can take pause this video and you can actually try it yourself. If you are able to come up with a solution, that's good enough. You're good to go. Otherwise, you can resume watching. So what I will apparently do is that I will store the prefix, right? I will first calculate the prefix at every given point. So let's take for an example. Here we have given 1, -3, 2, 3, and -4. Okay. Now, once we have given it, we need to calculate the prefix. So 1, this will be 1, this will be -2, this will be 0, this will be 3, and this will be -1. Right? So what we need to do now is that we have calculated the prefix. Now, let's say for some reason I had stored the state of this -2 in prefix min, right? Let's take for example, and this is the prefix max, right? So if I subtract these two, what we'll get? 3 of -2 is equal to 5. But what is the criteria to update minimum prefix? What is the criteria to update maximum prefix? So as you might already know, before starting this problem, we would have initialized this prefix min with value of 0, right? And we would have also initialized the prefix max as with 0. Now, one thing to understand over here is that prefix min will only be updated if any value, if we have a find a prefix such that it is less than 0 or less than equal to 0. That is one criteria, right? And prefix max will be only be updated if it is greater than equal to 0, correct? So that is one thing we need to understand. Now the next thing is that if we subtract something if we subtract prefix max with min, what we'll get? We'll get this particular region. We are getting this particular region. So prefix of prefix minus min, what will be the value? Do you think this value will be greater than prefix max? Yep, it will be greater because this is a negative value. And if you subtract something with the if you subtract something with a negative value, you will get something which is actually greater than, let's assume this is x, you will actually get something which is greater than x. So something like x plus, this will become x plus y at the end of the day, right? It's simple maths. So that is the criteria for this. Now, once we have stored the minimum prefix, how do we store the minimum prefix? It's as simple as this, right? We keep iterating and updated a mix, max and the min index, the prefix one. And after that, we actually do at the end, or you can do the subtraction. Now, one important point to understand over here is that what if there are multiple, let's say that I did a prefix sum. I'm not going to take some values. Let's say that I did like this, A4 and A5. What if I get the same prefix at multiple points? Let's say my prefix was min was calculated over here as, let's say, x, and at y also have some same values, and at this point also have same values. So it does not matter because we are interested in the maximum sum. So apparently what you will get is that y of minus x is equal to y plus x. So it does not matter which y we are taking at the end of the day. It does not matter which prefix max is updating our variable. right? Which prefix is apparently updated our prefix max, or which minimum prefix is updating our x variable. All we are interested in the subtraction of these two, and right, so that is the approach behind it. So if you want, we can take another given example and let's see if that works or not. So in this next example, as in the Leetcode daily, you can see that this is 2 minus 5 1 minus 4 3 and minus 2. If we do a prefix sum, this will be 2 2 minus 5 is minus 3 3 minus 1 is equal to minus 2, minus 2 minus 4 is equal to minus 6, and minus 6 plus 3 is minus 3, and minus 3 here. So what do you think? What is the minimum value which we can get over here? Right, this is the prefix min, right? And what do you think will be the maximum value which we would have gotten here? This is something like this, right? Prefix max. So at the end of the day, if we just subtract these two, right, we would have gotten the subarray from these points. Like this is the subarray which we would have gotten it. I will just use a different. This is the subarray which we would have gotten. And if you see in the actual problem, it is nothing but minus 1, minus 5, 1 and minus 4. So this actually works for it, because when we subtract minus, again, we are subtracting 2 minus of minus 6. This will be returning 8. And this will always work, right? So apparently, just to sum it up, at every point, we are checking if the minimum or the maximum can be updated. If it is possible, we will update the prefix min and the max. And at the end, what we can do is that we can subtract the prefix max with the prefix min. So if you just want to go through the code, I'll just quickly show you. In the code, there is nothing fancy. We just store at every given, this s is storing the current prefix, and we are trying to update it. If it is possible to update the minimum, we will update it. If it's possible to update the maximum, we'll update it. And at the end, we just return the subtraction of these two. So that's all, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.